Joining me now is the new NEF amateur welterweight champion, Mike Magic Murray, who picked up a split decision victory over Zach Faulkner this past Saturday at the Overnight Club in Portland, Maine at NEF 46. Mike, how you doing, man?
I'm great, man. It's a good time. It's good to see you again, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so a lot to get to today. So I want to dive right in. But first, I want to start with your confidence before the judges rendered their decision, because that was such a close fight. I'll tell you what I thought, about the judging and where I was leaning. But first, what did you and your team think?
So as far as thinking, I definitely thought I won. Well, I'll say this. I went up to my guys, my corners, and I was like, I looked them all in the eyes. I was like, did I do enough? Like, I hate leaving it up to the judges, that's never something we want to do. But I asked my guys and they're like, yeah, you did. So I was like, they were pretty confident. So I mean, just hearing them say that made me confident, but I was also like, he took me down several times. I was like, he had that cage pressure. I was like, man, I don't know if I do know that staying active up against the cage you know, is pretty beneficial, but I was definitely nervous.
No, I honestly think that's what won you the fight in the fifth round. Both myself and Greg had it 2-2 going into round five. And in the fifth round, Zach just had you pressed up against the cage and you were the more active fighter landing those strikes. Did you feel that? Did you know that, okay, I just got to keep hitting him as much as I can, just try to make damage? And because he wasn't really doing anything other than holding you there. Did you feel like in your head, okay, this is my round to lose?
Yeah, I definitely I thought it was super close going into that round. And I gotta be honest, I really wanted to strike going into that. All of the rounds really. After I got my confidence, and I think it's probably like after the second round, because he dominated in the first round. And after the second one, I was like, okay, I got some momentum. I feel good. Going into that third, I was like, let's strike, man. Like, let's do it. And really, that was what I thought was going to happen. I thought that's what he wanted to do. Because I studied Zach a lot, and I was like, he looks like he's a Muay Thai fighter. Like, he wants to strike. So I was prepared to go out there and have an all out, brawl. But yeah, I don't know, man. I did notice that though, like up against the cage, I was like, I wanted to throw up the whole time. I was like, oh my God. But I was just like, wailing on the sides, like hoping that was going to get, the judge's approval. But yeah.
Was it frustrating, just with his nonstop pressure in there? Because I have to imagine if I was in your shoes, that would have been a frustrating fight to especially to go all 5 rounds in.
Yeah, it absolutely was super frustrating. I was like, man, this dude is super strong. He doesn't look it. Like, I don't want to trash talk him at all, but he does not look as strong as he is. And yeah, that was a mind blowing experience right there. I was like, I cannot get this dude off of me. So I was just trying to do everything I could just to keep going, I guess.
So tell me, what was your corner? What were they telling you throughout the fight? When you go back to, your corner after rounds, 1, 2, 3, and so on, were they just telling you, do what you can to stuff the takedowns, get double underhooks, try to keep it on the feet? Was that the game plan? Is that what they were trying to tell you to do?
Yeah. After, like I said, after that, probably like the second or third round, my corners were like, dude, you need to strike, because you're winning the striking engagements. And like, going into this whole thing, I thought I had the superior ground game, and that was wrong. He definitely showed me up on the ground. And I don't know, the whole fight was absolutely mind blowing in my opinion, because I feel like we switched roles. Like, I thought he was going to be the striker. I came out and I wanted to strike after we got the momentum, and then he showed me up on the ground. Like, this is my dog saying hi. Get down. Yeah, but no, that was it was just super eye-opening, man. Really
So
eye-opening.
you've got another couple belts around you and everything, right? But this is
Yeah.
your home state promotion, NEF. It's a big deal. Did you feel pressure going into this fight? Like, did it feel any different for you?
yeah, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, I don't want to like put on this fake like facade. Like I wasn't like I went in there all macho. Um, I watched the fight afterwards and I was like, oh my goodness, that dude looks like intimidating. You know, me, I was like, oh, he looks intimidating, all this stuff. But I know that that guy was totally faking it the whole time. I was super scared, man. Getting, you know, knocking that cage rust, that ring rust off. Um, yeah, and it was crazy. It all hit me all like very fast. Like months leading up, weeks leading up, days leading up. I was fine. Like I was like, dude, this is the calmest I've ever been. Um, and then the fights, like I remember getting there at like 4 at the Aura. And I was like, okay, I'm still chilling. I was like, maybe I just don't get nervous anymore. And then the first fight, they all went out, and I was like, oh, okay, now, now I'm like, all right, now I'm feeling the pressure, and like the people that you know sponsored us and supported us, bought tickets, shirts, all the money that went into this. I was definitely feeling the heat of the moment once the ball started rolling and we got out there. I was like, oh my god, like, but yeah.
What did this win mean to you? Like, can you put it into words, just like how special it is?
I mean, it is the biggest, I would say, accomplishment so far in my like martial arts career. Just even, you know, yeah, it's definitely the biggest accomplishment so far. It was like I had like check, you know, boxes that I wanted to check off along the way, and this was, you know, winning an amateur title was definitely on there, high up on there. So, you know, definitely winning that. Um, the I wasn't super thrilled with my performance, and having it go the judge's decision, and then one of the judges having Zach winning, I was like, man, like I went out back and my dad was all excited, like everybody was obviously, and I was like, you know, they're like, you finally did it, you got a belt and all this stuff, but I was like, man, one of the judges had the other guy win. I just don't feel like I won. You know, I'm always hunting that finish, that sub, or that, you know, knockout, but I don't know. I definitely wasn't super satisfied with it, but yeah, after watching the fight, I will say, I mean, Zach is a hard dude, and to be able to go the distance with him was, you know, I think I think a victory in and of itself. He's a hard dude, but
So I think it makes sense that maybe a rematch should be in order without, I mean, a split decision title fight. I mean, for my money, it was the fight of the night, and both of you
mhm.
guys have very well-rounded skill sets. Is that something that interests you? Do you want to fight him again and either finish him or get a UD win?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I think everyone thought that. I don't know if it'd be like an immediate, like I mean, yeah, it does make sense. A split decision, immediate rematch, obviously. But I think in the like for me, this is just personally like amateur. We're trying to get as much experience as possible, whether there's a belt on the line or not. You're trying to get as much experience as possible. So fighting the same dude back to back,
Mm.
I don't know if that's like the greatest stretch of you know, level that you can get at, you know. I feel like if we were to both go and fight another dude and take what we learned from that and then fight again, then we'd be fighting a completely different dude. Again, you know what I'm saying? So if it was pro too, like that would be another thing that would play a factor. I just feel like once we go pro, this rematch doesn't even matter, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because I was actually talking to Greg about, what is next for you? Are you going to go pro? Are you going to stay amateur? He said, time to go pro. Me personally, I mean, you're still such a young guy. I mean, why not get a couple more amateur fights? Just get as good as you possibly can be before you go pro. Where's your head at with that? What are you thinking?
Yeah. So when I first started, I was like, okay, I got my first win. I was like, okay, I can do this 4 more times and then I'll be ready. Well, I've done it 5 more times now, and I do not feel like that. So, um, and I mean, you look at guys like Zach Richard. He had like 10 or 11 fights. He was like, you know what I'm saying? He was insanely experienced by the time he finally went pro. So I don't know. I'm like on the fence because you got guys that like Nate Grimmert, who I think he just had 5, right? And he went pro and he's doing awesome. Like he's just absolutely like murdering everybody. And that's super cool. So like, it's kind of in the middle for me. Like I'm just kind of like seeing what my team thinks. Right now, like very, very near future, I'm taking it like a chill just because like not fighting. I have been in camp for like 2.5 years, like solid 2.5 years. You know what I'm saying? My wife just got home. Hey.
Sorry, I thought there was.
So, where was I? Okay, yeah. So like 2.5 years I've been like, fight camp, right? I'm gonna shut this door. Sorry for the interrupt. So it's been just like I was getting ready for a fight, like just like any other day, you fight every 2 months or whatever. I just wasn't fighting every 2 months. It was just hard training for 2.5 years and then finally got a fight. So I do need to like breathe for a second and kind of, give my wife some attention, love on her a little bit, refocus and then get right back into it so I can hit it even harder. That's kind of where I'm at.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, let me ask you about weight classes because I remember when I first met you, you were fighting at 155. Now here you are at 170. Geez, it doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but I guess it was. You looked kind of like a boy when I first met you, thin, and now you look like a full-grown man. You filled out. Right. You just look different. So it wasn't a surprise to me to see you in person and be like, okay, he's at 170 now. But is that your weight class moving forward?
Yeah, for sure. I never want to see 155 ever again. That was a terrible, like, I mean, it wasn't so bad because like you said, it was, I was a boy at the time, really, like fresh out of high school, like, doing the Marines and stuff, but I definitely is not going to be a thing. While I was deployed last year, I hit 205. So I was like, and that was like, we weren't training. Like they had like super, super strict COVID rules over there, but we were lifting every day. And that's where I was like the biggest I've ever been, 205. So that's, 170 is probably the home for a while.
Yeah, I think that would make sense. Tell me, what is it like to have Nick Gully in your corner screaming at you during a title fight? What is that like?
Dude, I got his picture up here, man. He's my big brother. I tell him that every day. Like I don't have a big brother, and if I did, it would be him. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, I've been super blessed to have met him and have him around like he's been. He has never owed me anything. He's never never, I don't know what it is. He decided to pretty much like adopt me as his his little brother, and he's had my back ever since. And it's an awesome feeling. I feel kind of unbeatable when I got him, when we're all walking out and there's this big dude behind me, like nobody's going to mess with me because I got him,
Yeah.
But
I feel the same way about him. I don't have a big brother myself. And although I'm older than him, I don't feel it makes sense for me to say that like I'm his big brother because he's just so much bigger than me. It just doesn't make sense in my head, but he's literally one of the nicest people, his family, nicest people on planet Earth. So it's awesome that they're there in your corner. Tell me, what did you guys do and celebrate afterwards? Did you go to B-dubs and watch the fights? What was that whole experience like?
Dude, we tried. we had like 20 people in our party with us, and it was crazy because we got there and they were like, oh, like I was super interested in watching the fights. We got there right when I think Bobby Green was fighting, and they were like, yeah, well, we can seat you, but it's gonna take like an hour. So we're like, that's fine, we'll stand here and watch the fights like in the waiting room. And then like half an hour goes by and they're like, you guys can't be here. And we're like, yo, we're on the waiting list. Right. But they told us to leave. We went to like an Applebee's and just hung out, They were watching like Olympic curling or something, but we were like, all right, we'll just I guess hang out here and socialize. It was a good time though, I guess.
So NEF 46 in a nutshell, like, did you get a chance to watch any of the other fights? What was your just overall assessment of that night in general?
I didn't see, let me think. I We didn't watch any of the other fights. Like I didn't stay afterwards. Um, this one I was really just trying to focus on getting, the interaction with the people that came to support me. I've like never been able to get out in the crowd fast enough. For whatever reason, people are like, oh, it's, we got like an hour and a half, 2 hour drive back. So after my fight, they just dip out. I was telling my parents and my brothers and everyone, I was like, make sure that nobody moves. Like I gotta go. I'm gonna get my hands unwrapped and stuff, throw my sweats on. I'll run out and see everybody and take pictures and stuff. So that was really cool. That was a focus of mine. I was really trying to get that. As far as the fights, I saw a lot of them afterward, like on like videos of them and stuff. I thought there were some crazy fights. Mohammed Al Kanani, he was right after me. That was that was crazy. I saw Aaron Lacey's finish. Yeah, there was some really deadly fights that night for sure.
Yeah, man, it was a fantastic night. Cannot wait to be in the Auburn area at this new venue for NEF 47. Hopefully, we'll see you on that card. If not, maybe the one following that. But again, Mike, congratulations on the win. Very well deserved over a very, very tough opponent in Zach Faulkner. So again, tip of the hat to you there, Mike Murray, the new NEF 170-pound amateur champion. Pleasure talking to you, buddy. Before I let you go, I want to give you the floor. Tell people where to follow you on social media. And if you have anyone to thank, floor is yours.
Social media is magic.mike.murray. That's on Instagram. I don't really post anything else, but on like Facebook or anything. Let's see, shout outs. Gully for sure. We gave him quite the floor. My old man, my family, my wife, all my sponsors. I got good coverage on that screen. I was making sure they seen that in the fight. Yeah, man, just everybody that bought t-shirts and tickets and the pay-per-view sold really well as well. So I was super stoked about that. That's about it though.